Hi, I'm Nate Caddy. You're listening to the Don Pod.
Welcome to the Don Pod, the supporters podcast. Here's your hosts, Sam and Nate.
3, 2, 1, yeah!
Essendon fall to the Bulldogs for the second time in 2 months, 7-8-50 to the Dogs, 22-11, 143 in a lackluster Friday night game at Marvel. Welcome back to the Don Pod, the podcast where it is getting increasingly difficult week by week to talk football.
Well, about our football team.
Particularly. I'm Sam, as you can see on the bottom of your screen there, and here is Nathan. Hello.
Hello, Sam, and welcome to everyone. I just wanted to put out that I don't know how much longer I can do this for, Sam.
Well, we said until we win a flag, so at least another 60.
I meant this year. This is getting horrible.
Look, people that are listening to us, our numbers haven't dropped off, which is incredible.
I don't know what to
people
say.
that are listening. It is seriously borderline questionable, if you ask me. But hey,
Sickos. There's a lot of sickos who come in for the sicko,
and we are also sickos.
We're sickos.
We fit that category.
Mm.
Here we are again. Merritt had 30 disposals, 2 clearances, 7 tackles and 441 metres gained. Shield, 29 touches, 8 clearances and just under 300 metres gained, which is just a highlight. 8 clearances doesn't really correlate with 300 metres gained for me. Durham, 29 touches, 9 clearances and 402 metres gained. It was poor. I'm going to set the scene a little bit for me. I was driving and missed the first, I think most of the first quarter. Sort of caught a little bit of it on radio.
That was a bad quarter. It was a good quarter to miss, I guess.
Good quarter to miss. And then I watched the second quarter on the tally, and then the second half I watched on my phone with 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown on the tally, because I was with mum and dad, and I didn't want to put them through watching the football for my sake.
That's interesting. Yeah, fair enough.
So I had a great time because I really love 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown.
I do like that show, actually. It's quite a good show. What's his name? Jimmy Carr. He's quite funny.
My outlook was probably a bit more positive because I just didn't give a shit. I was just quite happy watching the tally and sort of going, they've kicked another one. They've kicked another one. Oh, fuck.
You would have been happy because you got Norton in your fantasy, in your dream.
Well, do you know what I forgot, though? I forgot to put him on.
Oh,
because my whole plan was to... This is a draft, people. I'm not making these decisions in Classic. My plan was to get Cadman for last week and then Beauty swap him for Norton the following week. Thankfully, Cadman actually got 115 himself this week.
Oh,
so I was a little bit saved, but yeah, Norton did get 150, which hurt me a little bit. But anyway.
Well, sorry, I just want to jump in there. On the first quarter, I nearly walked away after 5 minutes. The first bounce, there was a sort of a half non-ruck tackle, went down, and McGrath had an opportunity to take the ball and fumbled it. He just blah, 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 blah.
Blah, blah, blah.
And it went across to Bonapelli, who gave it to Norton or whatever. Who kicked it down Norton's throat. And I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, McGrath. Typical Andy McGrath. 170 games of football, still fumbles the fucking thing.
To take the focus off McGrath slightly, it's pretty typical of how we get hurt.
Yeah.
We just make critical little mistakes. And what's frustrating for me week on week now is that it's senior guys that make those mistakes. That's what frustrates the shit out of me. I can cop the mistakes from Kako. I can cop the mistakes from all those kids and just go, well, we'll hope to Christ they're better for it.
Yeah, that's right. And 5 minutes later, Kako's non-tackle twice was really annoying.
Yeah.
And as you're saying, that one, look, it was frustrating because he had the guy cold 3 times, I reckon. And the guy just sort of, and he was a young player too, just pushed him away and went, no, I'm going to go up the ground. I'm going to have a bounce in front of you too. And run away. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. And then whenever our players get tackled, they get smashed.
Yeah, hit. Yep.
And then I think it was early in the second quarter, maybe late in that first quarter, I can't remember. Dylan Shield puts on the most piss weak effort I've ever seen against English, where it's a non-tackle. He just sort of pushes him, touches his back. Tried. The thing about Dylan Shield I want to state, and this is going to be my biggest fan, I hope, for the day. When he has the ball and he's running away, his face shows, I'm trying so hard, look at me, I'm trying, everyone. Whereas if he's chasing someone, not doing it.
He did do some nice things, Dill.
Can't deal with him.
Those things that we got him for, which I honestly haven't seen for like 4 years. But, running away from contests and all that. But yes, I share the frustrations. I would like to take a moment to point out two things. One, that start you described was still better than Port Adelaide's start. Got a lovely big first clearance and booted it 60 metres the wrong way to Darcy Fogarty, who took a mark.
Oh no, you're kidding!
About
I
20
didn't
out
know. I
straight in
didn't watch
front.
that. Really, that's horrible. In
Bergman
the
that
showdown,
was.
that would have been so embarrassing.
And I would also like to take this opportunity to point out there were lots of people, and I'll probably say rightfully, complaining about Essendon and Bulldogs being on the Friday night. And,
Yep.
thankfully, I think for most it wasn't a standalone, so you could go and watch
The other game was pretty
derby.
interesting. Yep.
Yeah, not for the scoreline either. Saturday night, can I just point out, 101 points and 98. Can we all just take a moment to fucking rag on North Melbourne and Port Adelaide for those displays in the same way that we're happy to rag on us?
Yeah, I think it's important, and I'm fascinated by the North Melbourne.
Fascinated by Port as well.
Shouldn't it? Yeah, Port. Well, they both should be better than us.
Pouring rain.
They both shouldn't be getting flogged by that much. I understand the situation we're in, and it really frustrates me. So many injuries. Ridley got injured again. I'm frustrated by that. Do we have to set up a different strategy for him now? Does he just play 3 games and then we rest him for 1? Play 3 games, rest him for 1. It's something's not right with him because it's a low grade.
Yeah, low grade strain.
Which seriously, just rest him for the rest of the year. Don't worry about bringing him back.
Yeah,
just
don't worry about
fuck it. It's not. What's the point?
I think what's interesting is the AFL generally is more okay to rest players now. It's not frowned upon like it once was. So yeah, maybe we need to do that next year. Maybe there's a rotation between Mackay, Reid, Ridley, Hayes
when he's back,
and you can just.
I could even argue Blackiston if he's still on the list, or Laverde is still on the list. They could come in for 1 game. I wouldn't have a problem.
Options, sure.
But if it means I get 18 games, not in a row, but out of a season out of Ridley, then I'm happy for them to play 1 every so often.
You can plan it. So you go, okay, well, Anzac Day, Collingwood, good team, whatever, we're going to have to play our best available.
Yep.
But then
the week
when
before,
we're playing, not thinking we're good here, but if we're playing a team that's around the same spot on the ladder that we are, well, okay, well, maybe Reid can have a spell and we can bring in Laverde. Manage them.
Yeah, but I think this is the thing that needs to change. It doesn't matter even if we're a bad team. We have to start thinking about how we manage these plays, because you look at Geelong now, they have the luxury of being a good team, but how they've managed Smith throughout the year, and he had a blinder against North, but how they've rested him, you know.
Don't know if that's the best example because I don't know how much of him is being rested versus
or just doing drugs,
being sketchy. We'll never know, and that's okay. Yeah. I would use Collingwood and being able to use Pendlebury as the sub, side bottom out. Howell's missed games just from being rested, and with a team like them who are really old, that's probably really important to them, particularly. But then you say the same thing about us to a team that has a lot of soft tissue injuries in guys like Ridley.
We just need to come up with a different strategy.
And Reid. Let's just well, cop it that we can manage them, and I think as supporters, we'll accept that.
I'd be very fine with if they say we're resting Reid. He's played 3 big weeks. We don't want to overload him. And we have him on a rest, and we're going to bring in a Hayes. Yep, 100%. Beauty.
Yeah. And in the long run, hopefully that helps them, and then they might get to a point where they can start
play full seasons. Agree.
Or have a break mid-year and then whatever it is. Yeah, totally.
Well, that's right. Maybe the breaks become bigger. They play 6 weeks and then have a break. Play 8 weeks and then have a break. Like that. Yeah, that's because at the moment, if we keep losing Ridley for games, he's played 9 this year, or 10 this year, counting this 2 where he's been injured. He played 9 last year. 17 before that, and then way back into 20 when he was, Crichton medal winner and was in the All-Australian 40. So we need to get that guy back playing 20-plus games or 20-ish games.
If that means a week off,
so
be it. Yeah, I agree totally. Do you think this podcast will be far more interesting if we disagreed more often?
No.
Rather than just straight up.
I wouldn't want to do it. I'd be finding it frustrating. Fuck you, you're wrong.
Well, and we don't. Not that we have, but I don't think we disagree.
We disagree very rarely. But
it's usually a discussion, and one of us gets talked around in the end.
And it's usually we both would say, "Yeah, I get your view, but I just don't see it."
I still think you're full of shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Earlier on, it was remiss of me not to mention the goal scorers. Wright and McMahon, 2 lovely set shot from McMahon on quarter time. I was fortunate enough to catch that bit. Perkins Kako Caddy 1. Look, McMahon needs to work on being in games longer because that's
Yep.
2 weeks in a row now. He's kicked the first 2 goals and then not done an awful lot else, which I'm fine with. But that's
Yeah.
his area to improve on. He's just
Yep.
being in the game for longer. But oh, beautiful kick! Just when your fail-safe kick in Pete is really struggling. Who I
Oh,
did notice got better once he did dob one. He looked a bit better after he'd kicked
yeah. His
one.
technique looked ordinary in the first couple. Like his ball drop looked
Mm.
so bad. Like, and I'm like,
For a guy
what's
that's
going
so
on with him?
reliable, it just tells you how much it's in your head, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
But yeah, McMahon, frame it.
Now, I just want to point out too, Sam,
Please.
from a admin perspective, I only changed one name on that list of goal kickers. It was Dersma last week, and I
This week
swapped
it was-
Dersma to Caddy. And everything else is the same. Well, no, that's an easy one.
Love a good bit of admin. Been a weird round of footy to this point, to be honest. Like Gold Coast dismantling Brisbane again in the wet. That's
Gold
two
Coast are
really
very good
high
at Gold
scoring
Coast.
teams in the wet. It's unreal.
Gold Coast don't lose up there. Like that's when I tip them. I tip them to beat Brisbane because I just think they win every game up there.
Well, yeah, but the natural reaction would have been, well, maybe it's a bit different against Brisbane.
I agree, but they
Who-
did it against Collingwood, so why can't they do it against Brisbane?
Yeah,
Yeah.
true. Some team stats. We probably should stay on topic here.
Yep.
And that was my fault, that one.
Well, it's easier to talk about other teams. They're more interesting than us.
I did watch most of that Gold Coast game, and it was very impressive.
Oh, God, we're shit.
Minus 66 disposals, and this is something I think we're going to go on to highlight after
Yeah.
this little bit. Minus 79 kicks, but plus 13 handballs still. Minus 7 contested ball, minus 10 inside 50s, which isn't quite the shellacking you'd expect in a 93 point loss.
Yep.
Plus 11 hitouts, minus 5 clearances, plus 3 at centre, and minus 8 stoppage. That stoppage clearance is still continually an issue where the centre clearances are not. And one that stands out for me, I think speaks to work rate more than most other things. Minus 55 marks, 71 to 126. That's
flogging.
a
That's just
flogging.
That's and
They had 10 more contested marks, which I can kind of cop because they're a bigger, more mature outfit. And plus, we had Laverde and Blackiston on Darcy and Norton. So I can accept that that's going to happen. But just around the ground, you've got to put a bit more pressure on them. And
we didn't.
there's a fantastic graphic on the Dogs, actually, on Channel 7, at least, showing them against bottom 8 sides, or bottom 9 sides, and top 8 sides. Bottom 10, that would be, Sam.
Yep.
And they haven't beaten the top 8 side.
Oh, really?
Their wins, and they're convincing wins, and they love playing us. They're a real bogey side for us at the moment. But, yeah, they really struggle to piece it together against teams above them, but are pretty, like, they're ninth. They've won 11 games out of what would be 19, but they've got a percentage of 130. So when they're winning, they win.
Oh, they're winning.
They're winning. Interesting anyway. Dogs are a mysterious case for me because I think they should be a hell of a lot higher up the ladder.
I agree. I don't understand how they're not top 4 with the list they have. The quality of players, like their forward line is unreal. Midfield is unreal. Defense questionable, but not horrible.
Not awful, yeah.
One other thing I found interesting too in the game, Sam, with the CBAs. I put a little bracket in there. So it was Merritt did 88%, Durham 84, McGrath 72. So McGrath for the first time in the year went in there.
He did a bit last week too, I noticed.
Did a couple last week, yep. And then Shield the Dud, or Shield should be, did 56. So the thing I found interesting is that normally if you look at the other weeks, there's always someone chirps in with a few 10%ers, like it's not someone like
so that's
Holmes.
it.
Yeah, that was it. No one else. Like, and I'm thinking, why didn't Kako
29 goals kicked.
Yeah, like why didn't Kako? In a game like that, why doesn't Kako come in for 5?
Well, and Gresham even last week got
Gresham,
clearances, and you go, well, okay, maybe there's something in that.
You had a graph last week. I think Gresham led us for
he had 9 clearances.
Yeah, 9 clearances. That's right. And yet he doesn't do a CBA this week.
Yeah, it's odd.
Like,
and I don't for a second advocate Gresham as a midfielder.
No, I don't.
But when he's had 9, you think you'd roll him through there.
When you're down by 80 points in most of the 70, 60, we were getting flogged for the whole game. Like, at what point do you just say, well, let's try a few things in this game? Like,
but how often have we said this to each other?
Yeah, I know. And I'll go back to the very first game, round 1, centre bounce, CBA, Red Dog standing there in the centre square. And we both went, what the fuck's he doing? Is he lost? Has he made the wrong turn? And that's the only time he did like 5 CBAs in that first quarter, never went back to there.
Never seen again.
I see that blows my mind that the coaches have had the whole preseason to sit around and think about what are we doing this year, what's our strategy, how are we playing the back line, what are we doing here? Well, Red Dog, CBA, first game.
Well,
Why?
but, okay, so tick that you've tried something.
Yep.
So the criticism from me,
Yep.
I nearly said the wrong criticalism. That's not the right word. Comes from Jake Kelly. We persisted with for like a whole season when
5
it wasn't
years.
working. Yet
On the wing.
we gave Redmond that opportunity, and seemingly after 30 minutes of football, went, okay, yeah, no, not for us. But okay,
Yep.
I can accept that we were trying something. See your point that it's round one and we've had a long time to sort this shit out. But okay. Gresham comes in last week and does a good job, you would suggest, and then doesn't get another go. But yet we stuck with Jake Kelly on the wing
For weeks and weeks
in
and
his
weeks
final,
and
what
weeks.
ended up being his final season of football. So it hasn't helped us in any way in the long
Nope.
run.
It was a shocking in hindsight, it was a horrible
Well, it was
decision
actually-
to play him on the wing if it's his last year.
It was 2 seasons before. Apologies.
Oh, yeah,
It was the
sorry,
season
yeah,
before his
yep.
final. But
Yep.
weird.
Well, the Red Dog. Why doesn't Red Dog go into the CBA this week? Like, why? Okay, if we did it in round one, let's just throw someone different in there and see what happens. Like, why not just?
broader than that,
Mm,
there's been 29 goals kicked. Assuming none of them are after quarters, which one of them, at least one of them was. So there's about 30 centre bounces,
yeah, well,
31,
yeah,
32-ish.
Yep, whatever. Yep,
And in a centre bounce, you have 3 players,
yep.
not including a ruckman, who
Yep,
I'm
well,
assuming
mate,
you've left out of that.
I have left out the
equation.
right. Goldie did like 90%, and what's his name? Peter Wright only did like 9.
I did notice Caddy was rucking at one point in the forward line too. I'm not sure about that. Anyway, you're using 4 players for a combination of 3 positions.
Yep. Yeah.
And one of them is
Worst
56%. So pretty much every time we've gone to a centre bounce, it's been Merritt, Durham, McGrath. That was our makeup.
Exactly. Yep.
Weird,
What?
man.
And this is where I go back to, is it player or coach driven that I'm frustrated at? And I'm clearly frustrated at some of the players, and they're often senior players at the moment. But I'm also still really frustrated at the coaches. Like, there's an opportunity for us to say, well, look, we're fucked. The year's gone. Let's see what Kaka do. Let's see what Red Dog can do. Let's put Lual in there. I don't care. Let's just give everyone a bloody go. Like, why would you why would Dylan Shield be even getting 56% if he's not in the team at the end of the year? I understand he's a senior body.
I would go further to say, what value does he have to the team if he's not in the centre?
Yeah.
So why isn't it more? If
Yeah.
you were going to play that,
Yep.
we're only going to play 4 guys in there. I would expect that to be a bit higher and McGrath to be a bit lower. If that was, the other side of that.
Yep.
Did you happen to see what was happening pre-game? The 2000 Premiership side?
Yes, yeah.
And there's a lovely photo that I think Essendon put up on Facebook or Twitter or both
Yep.
of James Hird shaking hands with Brad Scott.
I'm telling you, you're not doing it right.
I saved it, and it probably will be the thumbnail for this because I think it's quite poignant at this point in time. But you just go, what I loved about Hird, and I'm not an advocate for Hird as coach, I'm not. But
Nope.
we had variety. We had Hurley going back and forward. We had Carlisle going back and forward.
Yep.
Later on, although possibly not under Hird, we had Hooker going back and forward. We just tried shit, and it was refreshing because you'd sit there and go, all right, well, at least we're giving it a red hot crack here to try and do something, which I reckon is a Kevin Sheedy thing.
Yeah, I
But
agree.
James Hird playing under Kevin Sheedy for so long would have gone, right, well, what would Sheeds do?
And Bomber Thompson used to do it too, who, again, a
Who
Sheedy.
could coach us for a season as well.
Yep.
I try really hard to not be one of those people who want to sack Brad Scott because I don't want to sack Brad Scott. It's too soon. We're not in a position to blame coaches because
I don't want to, but I don't like seeing what I keep seeing.
Correct.
Now, the other thing I wanted to bring up was stats.
Please.
So we talked about a few things just earlier with our, disposals and hitouts and inside 50s and stuff like that. I did a little bit of digging. And just to look in so far round 20 are we, or 19? Just
Round
finished.
20.
Yeah.
Round
Round 20 finished. So at the moment, this is an average stats. Essendon, 12th in the AFL contested marks, yet we always kick it to contests. Like, drives me insane how often we kick it to a contest and we don't mark it. And I go, why do we keep doing that? And then you look at the stats and go, well, that proves what I keep seeing. We don't mark the ball in contests.
Outside of ranking, logic would suggest we're going to be outmuscled at a lot of those contests because we don't have senior guys.
Nope.
Or a lot of senior guys.
Yep.
Go on.
So we're third last in clearances. So again, when we don't mark it and the ball gets cleared, we don't win that either. So that shits me as another thing. So then we're last from scores from kick-ins. Now here's another one that really shits me, and this is a coach's thing. So during the week, don't you have a little, okay, set up the game, so we'll kick it out and try and get it up to the wing or have a set play, a couple of set plays. I watched Jordan Ridley, I think it was in the second quarter, kick it he stood at the edge of the goal square, kicked it 15 just right into the tight corner of the pocket to, I think, Laverde, I think it was, who stood there and went, I've got nowhere to go.
Oh, shit, now what?
I've got nowhere to go. So he bombed it long. English took the mark. The ball came back in. I went, what's the fucking strategy there?
Mm-hmm. And this is where I struggle with Brad Scott, because if I'm a coach, and keeping in mind here, I am absolutely fucking not.
You could be one, Sam. You
never will be. There's a few default settings I would have for my team. Obviously, I have no idea about intricate game plans and all that shit. I've got no fucking idea.
Well, let's go.
And just to talk about what you're talking about, kick it fucking long. Take the 15 metres that the AFL changed the rules to give you, and then boot if you got nothing. If you got an option, take it, sure. If not, boot the fuck out of the thing. Get it to the wing or as close to the wing as humanly possible. Get a stoppage. That's your number one goal.
And I agree with that. And I don't know why you have to kick it to the pocket. So that guy then kicks it pretty much about where you would have kicked it, maybe even shorter. And why don't you just take that game on and kick it out to there? Go, well, I've got no other options. That's where I have to go. Yeah.
More time to set it up.
Yep.
And I should say the worst case scenario is a stoppage. If you can take a mark, brilliant.
Yep.
Don't get out marked. That's also another rule I'd have. Just don't get out marked.
So the other thing, we're third last in scoring from stoppages. Nice. So we're shit at when the ball hits the ground, we can't get it.
Something we were actually really good at last year. Go on.
Yep. And we're fifth last at inside 50s. So again, they're the things we're quite bad at. The things we're the best at, you're going to love this. We lead the AFL in handballs, uncontested possessions, and frees against. Now, let's just quickly discuss handball.
That's an average, just to recall.
As an average, yeah. So we handball the most and we get the most uncontested possessions.
Which if you just take 2 seconds to think about the Essendon Football Club, I think about handballing and chipping it sideways around the back.
Yep.
And those two stats back that up entirely. Freeze against usually would suggest you're second to the ball more often than not.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're not willing to put your head over it, did you happen to check where we were for contested ball?
No, I didn't.
Guessing bottom half. I don't think we that bad.
Yeah. So, I mean, uncontested possession and handballs. Like what I see the club, and this is again coaching or players, I still don't know. They chip it sideways, I get that, but we never seem to move the ball up the ground by foot. Like our only option is to get to a point and then just bomb it. We'll just kick it to these uncontested possessions where we often don't mark it. Sometimes if we're lucky, Peter Wright or Caddy might take the mark, but not enough. And the ball bounces back quite easily. Yet we don't say, okay, keep moving, find that 20-metre kick, find another 20-metre, cut the angles, change the angles. And then you might find, you get into the forward half and all of a sudden you've got some space. No, we don't do that. And you watch good teams, they do it.
Two things. There's a couple of times, or more than a couple of times, where the Bulldogs were at half forward, sort of point of the centre square, outside of it, like wing side of it, and then switched. Massive switches across the ground where they had guys free. And you hear commentators all the time talk about change the angle of attack, change the angle of entry into your forward line, because all the defence is mostly out of position and the forward themselves have the run of the play. The second thing, I forget. It'll come back to me. Oh, yeah. So, sorry.
It's pretty good.
Professional.
You said it so well, too. The second thing, I forget. Oh, dear. I messaged you in the second quarter and said, hey, I'm actually liking what we're trying to do now. We had a moment or 10, 15 minutes of momentum where we actually had more of the ball than the Dogs just for a little bit. The second quarter, and I'll fact check this now, which is dangerous because it could absolutely prove me wrong. And just on that too, Sam texted me this beautiful, loving message of like, oh, geez, I'm really liking what I'm seeing here and some good things. And I responded with, they're shit where shit get fucked.
And I didn't message him back. I took that to heart. And Nathan's not a big texter. So they kicked 6 goals in the first quarter, 7 in the third, and 5 in the fourth. In the second quarter, we weren't able to hit the scoreboard, but they quote unquote only kicked 4 goals, and it was 4 goals straight. So to me, it was our best quarter because we actually them defensively.
And in your defence, those three came in the last about 5 minutes, 2 minutes.
Yes,
Yeah.
correct. So what I liked was the intent.
Hmm.
What we were trying to do was everything you just described. We took the 45 back into the
Yes.
middle. We handballed, but we handballed forward.
Yes.
And with intent, and
Yes.
not to another bloke who's got a
Standing still or
opposition up
looking
his
the other
arse
way.
or standing still. Yeah.
Yep.
And I can't point out to you a play particularly, but just the intent was different, and I liked it.
The vibe, the constitution.
Yes.
Yeah, no, and I agree with you saying that. But what frustrates me is that doesn't happen enough, and that doesn't seem to be our game style we're trying to play. Like, I don't mind, and I agree with you 100%. I don't mind if that's what we're trying to do and failing.
Yeah, but it changes because
Yeah.
we do that for 15 minutes and
Yep.
then don't do it for the rest of the game.
Well, we don't do it for the next three quarters. Like,
I don't
and
get that part of it, yes.
that's what I don't get either. And I don't get if that's, again, if they're not coaching that properly and the players can't learn it. I mean, there was this story that Truck was sacked because he couldn't get the players to play the way he wanted. Wasn't that sort of something along the line of?
They were kind of just doing their own thing because they
Yeah.
didn't believe in the game plan, that sort. Yeah, yeah.
Is that what's happening again? Like, are the players just doing what they want? The
I
coaches?
really hope not because now
Yeah.
this is about the players, no longer the coaches at all.
Yeah.
Because I think, Brad Scott has at least done this before and made it to prelim finals as a coach.
Yeah.
With what most accepted was not a Final Four in the comp sort of list. So you'd hope
He surely rings his brother a little bit and asks him, so what are you doing?
I do wonder about that sometimes. What's the rules there? I'm sure
What
they
do you
can't
do?
exchange too much. But
Surely at Christmas lunch, they're sitting around next to each other and go, so what are you doing?
they could not have any more polar opposite careers. And, when
Yeah.
Chris Scott took over Geelong, we were like, oh, he's been inherited an awesome list. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, he's kept it together and done bloody well for the last 14 years now.
Yep.
So,
Mm.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's just weird. Is there anything else to add? I think we
No, I mean, it's just shit.
keep doing this.
I think this challenge for me, and I'm sure everyone listening, is that there's still 5 games to go in there, something like that. And in there, we got to play Geelong, who just fucking whooped North Melbourne.
And
so
Geelong in Geelong too.
Yep, I don't even want to watch that game like that.
But we're going to because we're passionate.
We're passionate. I'll watch it on
Or I'll
replay. I'm not watching them live. I can't handle this. Kills me watching it Friday nights because I've got nothing else to do. Whereas on a Saturday afternoon, you can, mow the lawns and do some things and come back and watch it and go. Oh, yeah.
And just before the keyboard warriors get in the comments. We are passionate about this football club.
Oh yeah, look, you watch that game for full, from start to end, and tell me there aren't moments when you go, "Fuck this,
I
I'm
might
leaving."
just flick out. Oh, geez, GWS are on a run. Let's go watch that and watch Jake Stringer shush all the Sydney supporters in there. Oh God!
Just tell me you can't. Just tell me you sit there and watch it from start to end and go, It's fucking hard.
Well, I did go to the Richmond game, which is probably up there with the least entertaining
that's
moment of my life. Not even game of football. Just to throw in there, this is the first time in the club's history that we've had 3 90-plus defeats in the same season.
Oh wow! Even not that 2000.
Even 2016. Yep. Wow. I mean, this is on the AFL website, so I'm assuming. This is correct. I'm not going to fact check the AFL for Christ's sake.
I did think about that 2016 year. Now, I didn't fact check this either. We won a game late in that year, didn't we?
We beat Carlton late on, and Gold Coast actually. So we won round 2.
Yeah,
we didn't win for a really long time.
10 or 15, yeah.
Beat Gold Coast, and then beat Carlton.
Yeah, that's right. And I do remember that. And then there was some real momentum about some of those games. Like there was the players, and we were like, "Well, fuck them. Geez, good on them." Yeah, whereas at the moment, we're watching Spuds play and we're going, fuck me. Where are the good players?
This is a thing that I have my overwhelming view on football is that losing is not the worst thing. It's expectation.
Yes.
Because we are still in a far better state than Carlton. Because Carlton think they were going to be up there and they're not. Yeah. And you might think that they were never going to be up there, but they believe they were.
Well, I think we believed so a few years ago we were going to be up there.
But not this year. That's so much worse. Yeah. North Melbourne, I don't think for a second trade their first round pick to Richmond if they think they're going to finish bottom 2.
Yeah, that's right. And get flogged towards the end of the year by 100 points. Like
they're not where they think they were going to be.
Yeah, I agree.
Neither
are
we.
That one. No. But
we have a decent reason for
We have a decent reason. Again, I know, whereas North Melbourne have no real reason. I mean, they could argue, we didn't have Xerri this week. But big fucking deal. You missed your ruckman. We've missed him all
Ruckman
year.
aren't that important. I'll die on that.
Well, ruckman aren't that important against Geelong, where
Well,
they
we
don't have
had
one either.
Goldstein against Bulldogs and we lost by 90. We had Vigo get pumped against GWS but only lost by 40.
Yeah, and Goldstein won the hitouts. Like,
So what's that telling you?
yeah, that's right. So,
Anyway. Votes.
yes, votes.
Really tough. Really, really tough.
I can't believe you gave a just vote to that fucking squib.
Give me a second, please, because I might revisit that. So Shannon Ryan was the quote unquote winner of the margin because he said the Bulldogs by an even
100.
Which, again, from what I could see, Facebook comments don't load in the way you would hope that make logical sense was the closest.
That's fine.
They gave 3 to Durham, 2 to Merritt, and 1 to Redmond, and really messaged me after to say how, like, what, I don't know how I'm meant to pick 3 players. I said, yeah, look, sorry about that.
We have to do it every week. It's tough.
It's tough. This is a prestigious award, and for the sanctity of the award, we need your votes. And they obliged. So thanks for that, Shannon. You go, because I'm going to rethink.
Well, I gave my 3 to Merritt, 2 to Durham, and 1 to Blackenston. It's not spelled correctly.
You have spelled incorrectly.
No, I didn't care.
Just an I, not an E. You were fine. You were close.
That's right. He looked, yeah, I think he had 5 or 6 goals kicked on him, the poor bastard. But I felt that I really. You and I talked earlier in the week about if he should be on the list. He's only got a contract to the end of the year, and I was like, nah, he should go. But to be honest, the way he played, the way he tries, his kicking's still an awkward style, but everything else he does is quite good. So I don't mind him.
Fair enough. I like that he's in the right position a lot. And I think that's something you can't teach. You can't teach a bloke to be in the right position. And he is. He just lacks the skills. So you back yourselves as a club to develop those skills, and there might be something in it.
Yep.
He is also, and we have to remember, not playing in a position that he is...
Played his whole career in,
he's a
which is
ruckman.
called ruckman. He's quite quick for a ruckman. There was one moment he was sprinting to the boundary against someone else, and he kept that with it. And I'm like, he's got some good leg speed for a guy who's 200 centimetres.
He's very much like Blixarves from Geelong. I mean, look, one, because of the ponytail.
The ponytail, yeah.
But tall, agile, and... Like I said, if you can be in the right positions and do some stuff, then you're trainable, you're teachable, and
there's an argument to say he could be on an AFL list.
Well, he is literally.
Yeah, well, besides the situation we're in, yes.
Right. Okay. I gave 3 to Durham, 2 to Merritt.
Yep.
And honestly, thinking about the game itself, I can't pinpoint why I would give them votes. That is purely based on stats and the vibe of what I remember.
That's fair enough. It was a hard game.
And I've changed that shield to Redmond because Red Dog, again, just that right balance of kicks to handballs, 19 kicks, 4 handballs. And I think that's what we lack, is guys that will happily take on a kick. We can talk about the percentage of ones that hit the target. I know he kicked one out on the full where he had a pretty easy option. I know that.
Yeah, it's fine.
But it's the right thing for me to be doing.
Yes, but that's right. But it goes to as we continue to talk about our senior players. I've got this little list of senior players at the end of this sheet. And it's Merritt, it's Shield, it's McGrath, it's Gresham, it's Wright, Laverde, Redmond, Guelphy, Durham, and Ridley all played over 100 games, and they're our most senior players out there. It's Merritt we've given the votes to, and Durham, who's not even on the list because he hasn't played 100 games.
100, yep.
So it's the guys like Andy McGrath. Like, how does he not get the 2 or 3 votes in this game? Like, he played 70% CBAs, and no one thought he played a good game. I didn't. I thought he fumbled the ball as much as anyone. He did. His players got away from him. Shield, I can't handle his inability to put his head over the ball and take a fucking hit. Like, seriously, the guy has got a streak of yellow down his back as thick as a freaking Ferrari car tire. Like, he's just piss weak. Red Dogs gives it everything, but sometimes he just fucking can't kick the bloody things. Peter Wright, his kicking is atrocious at the moment, but he's not our worst player. So it's frustrating. They're our senior players.
Well, this is a fantastic little segue, and I don't want to get too much into this discussion, but I want to just plug our little Facebook page that you're not on because you don't have Facebook.
I don't do Facebook, mate.
Which is weird for a boomer, but anyway.
Not a boomer.
I know. It's just fun to think you are.
Yeah, I know.
So you and I have spoken at length about the fact we have to make like 8 or 9 list changes
Yes.
at the end of this year. And
Mm-hmm.
whether Draper stays or not, there's still a lot to happen in that space. So we've gone through, and I won't, spoiler alert, I won't sort of go through what we've gone through because we'll do that at the end of the year. But there's still one. There's one more position, one more delisting, one more trade, one more whatever that we need to do that you and I can't quite figure out.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a brainwave of, hey, I could post this on Facebook. So
Great idea,
it
Sam.
started yesterday. Just the Don Pod on Facebook, if you're not
Familiar?
already. And I got a little photo of Andy McGrath's mug with his strong jawline and kind eyes,
He's a beautiful looking man.
saying he's contracted to 2030, which I think in this context is very important because we're not going to trade a bloke who's contracted to 2030.
That is a long that's a long contract he got last time, wasn't it?
And just asking the people, keep Julius trade or, free agent because Draper will be later on. But 390 comments on Pidge, which is astronomical. I was reading them all yesterday and I haven't read them for a little bit, so I hope you're being nice. But yeah, get on and get in the chat because it's going to be a really interesting off-season.
What was the sort of vibe on it?
Look, I think you can probably guess what the overwhelming sentiment was, but the realistic part of me is we're not going to trade him. We can't trade a bloke who's contracted for that long. I don't think we would.
What club would want him? He's a back pocketer. Like, we've just given him a shot in the midfield, and you know.
My comment is that I think he's a dependable small defender.
Yeah.
As a lockdown player-on-player defender, he's quite useful and quite dependable. It's everything else, the rebounding runs, bounding out of 50, and then he struggles with the disposal. That's what worries me. Yep.
If he just asks him to when he plays on Charlie Cameron or something like that, he does a really good job normally on him or Papley or something like that. He shuts them down.
And just looking at this now, Rocky Howard, someone's commented, McGrath gets unfair hate. He would be great in a good team. And I think that's probably fair because in a good team, he's not having to do that rebound, run, dash, malarkey.
He plays in Brisbane.
He's just playing a role every week, locking down a defender. He's that case in point, but you're only as good as your bottom six.
Yeah.
He'd be a very good bottom six player.
That's right. He would be on that bottom six list at Brisbane, and he'd be like, you'd be going, well, he plays, great player as a bottom six. Yeah.
So I'll post Draper shortly and try to do one a day. We know what I'm like with my remembering.
Yeah, no, you're drunk.
Yep. Sorry, are you projecting there? Anyway, on to next week. We play the Swans up in Sydney. It should be the last time travelling, but it won't be because we still have to play Gold Coast. We lost to the Dogs in the VFL 32-95. Bit of a shellacking. It's been pretty awful weather throughout the whole of, honestly, the eastern coast and Adelaide the last 24 hours. So
I did see the Dogs had 30 scoring shots to our 7.
Mm-hmm. Hot. The list of AFL players, fortunately, is quite quick to run through. David Junior, 20 touches and 5 tackles. No scoreboard, but solid.
I didn't watch the game, but I wonder if he's not playing as a forward like that with those numbers.
I would assume so, yes.
Yeah.
Newbin, 17 touches. Gerine, 15 touches and 7 marks whilst playing in defence. So I wonder if there's a plan there in place with Ridley being out. I don't see the need for it as much now as at the start of the year because we have got Blackiston. But
yeah, why not? Everyone gets a game at Essendon Football Club.
Oh yeah, break the record. We may as well break the record while we're here.
You'd think that Newen it'd be very close to getting a game. He was pretty good
quick,
before. He was pretty good before his injury, and then he missed a bit of footy.
But he's quick and might just provide a little something.
Something.
Jai Menzies, 13 in a goal. Vigo, 9 touches, 25 hit-outs. Day Wicks, 6 touches and 5 tackles.
That's
I
horrible.
can respect the 5 tackles, but 6 disposals is a bit
I guess if he's playing forward, the ball's not down there. That's not helping his development, is it? That's probably the problem I have with that. Again, why don't we just play him up the ground? Try and get him into the game. If we're getting that flogged, we got a small forward, and maybe the problem is he can't play other roles, but he's not going to develop as a small forward in the VFL if he gets 6 touches a game.
I would assume he's playing a little bit up because he was playing around the ground in the AFL, so I'm assuming that's what he's doing.
But that's 1 and a bit touch a quarter. You're not developing yourself at all. I've got a touch.
1 touch every 20.
Touch, that's it.
5 minutes. Yeah. So one forced change.
Yeah, with Ridley.
Ridley.
Yep.
Oscar
don't know who
Smart was the sub.
Yeah, he looked like he got a bit hurt too.
Yeah, well, he was on early enough, but he needs to kick straight because he's had
Oh,
several shots at goal now and has not kicked an AFL
zip
goal
five
yet.
or zip six
Yeah.
now. I can't remember now what he's at. He's kicking his. I think it's in his head now.
Yeah, that's the problem, and that's what
Yeah.
I said about Pete. Once he kicked one, he was fine.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know if we need to replace Ridley with a
With
tall
Sydney,
necessarily.
they're not an
If
overly
Laverde
tall.
and
Yeah,
Blackiston can deal with, well,
yeah.
not deal with, probably critically Darcy and Norton. Sydney's tall forwards. I mean, I don't think Amadi's playing at the moment.
No, and they rest.
Francis, is he playing at the moment?
I can't remember, but they also that other ruckman too. That sometimes I can't think of his name. But
Laddams.
Laddams. He sort of hasn't been in and out of the team, so they're not an overly tall forward line. But guys like Papley and stuff like that. But that's a great matchup for McGrath. Like Papley's the guy. Yeah, okay, there's your job for the week.
So their goal kickers from the Giants game: Hayward kicked 3, Papley, Mills, McInerney, Heaney, Grundy. So Grundy's not a consideration because he's a ruck going
He would
forward.
have floated down there. Yep,
Heaney's one we're going to have to be really watchful of.
he'll have a great
some
game
serious
against
form.
us. Yep.
McInerney's a tall.
Yeah,
I
not
think
overly tall, but we should be able to deal with that.
the issues are going to come from your Papleys and
Your Heenies and your
yeah. So not a swap. I think we need to go tall for tall.
No, you could just move some players around there.
So possibly a new win. A new win.
Well, yeah. You have to bring someone in. I don't know if Smart comes off and plays the full game next week.
Well,
and you're
that's
bringing Ewan in for the bench. Like,
well, I don't want to start. I don't want to do debutantes as
I know, but
subs. But
what do we do?
I don't know. Don't really care at this point.
Well, I personally would love to see Davey get the game, if I'm honest, because
Yeah, I'm okay with that too.
I think he's either at a point in his career where we've got an opportunity. Most players, like guys like Clark and Lual and those guys like that, are playing every game this until the end of the year because we're like, well, why not? And I have no problem with that. I'm fully supportive of that. Why not put Davey in that category as well? So let's play him to the end of the year and see what we've got in him. Like, because he hasn't played for the whole year. He's played every VFL game, so he's either a mile off it and he's out of the list at the end of the year, or we might as well at least have a look
Which at this point is feeling probable.
And here's an argument. Would you, and I know this is a stupid thing to say, would you pick him over Dylan Shield too? Like, why would we pick Dylan Shield if he's off the list at the end of the year?
Well,
is it because we look a bit better with him?
This is the classic. You know what you get out of Dill?
Yep.
And we're not going to get much more.
Nope.
Whereas
like a tackle.
you be nice. You play Davey Jr. and you go, well, all right, I'm Brad Scott. We'll start him in the forward pocket. That's sort of where I would naturally think he'd play. Yep. But okay, well, halfway through the second quarter, we're getting belted by 35 points. All right, Elwyn in the middle. Yeah. Off you go. Yep. Half back, off you go.
Yep.
And just see, because you might find something that goes, all right, well, we've got something we can develop now, and we're not going to delist you. Because at the moment,
he's the
only plausible outcome to all this feels like
he's off the list. Yep. And I find that really disappointing in that when we drafted them...
So much hype.
It was, 3 years ago, really. There was so much hype between the two brothers. Like, one hadn't played much; he'd had knee problems, but they reckon he was
the best of the two.
Yeah, he was the more talented one, and Elwyn played pretty much that first game, I think, in the year after he was drafted.
He did. He played against Hawthorn.
And played a few games, and we were like, wow, look at the pace. Yeah, he's a little bit timid.
He's got the youthful exuberance. And
but he's a kid, he's small. Like, I can deal with him being a bit timid. I have no, he was a 19-year-old, 18-year-old playing AFL football. Fair enough. I don't like seeing Dylan Shield, who's 32 years old and
should know better.
Looks like he's been in the gym a lot. It looks like he's got a body on him. Like, use the bloody thing.
This is where I really struggle with some of our supporter base. And I rely heavily on Twitter and people like Jade, Hockey, who's at training every week. And they're fantastic sources of information. But as a collective, we just overhype so much and think these guys are so great.
Yes.
So good. When the realistic part of me goes, okay, well, but you're seeing one very specific thing going, oh, that was nice. But as footballers, how the heck you can be Davey Jr. and not get a game of football this year?
this year too. Like this is the interesting thing. Like,
Like, the guys that haven't got games, Nguyen, Gerine, they're all first year players.
yep. And
And
Jaron's a specific tall. Like
yes,
he's and
so,
we get that.
and Unwin is the other one. Whereas
Yes.
Davey Jr.'s played senior football before. We've had 13 debutants, 13 guys, three of which weren't even on the list at the start of the year, four of which, excuse
Yep.
me, weren't even on the list
Yeah,
at the start
that's
of the
right.
year. Yeah.
Uh,
Red flag, alarm bells, all that. It's concerning. But to go back to your point, sorry, give him a go.
yeah.
Yeah, see what he can do. And right over Dylan Shield, who we go, okay, well, we know what we're getting out of you. You'll do some nice things, but you might not tackle, you might not put your head over it, and you probably butcher the ball when you kick it. He did
Yep.
there was a passage of play where he nearly missed the ball with his boot,
Yep.
and someone else did. I'm like, for fuck's sake, what are we doing here?
But this is why flip a coin. If Alan Davey doesn't play another game for the year and then gets delisted, I'll go, well, what was the point of that? Like,
Why didn't we just try?
why didn't we try him? Like, I'll be really frustrated by that. If he comes on and plays shit ass, you go, well, yeah, fair enough.
But the argument to that, just being devil's advocate, I
Yep.
agree with you. He's not doing anything in VFL. Particularly to go, okay, well, we can try him to do this in the AFL. Why would he
Yep.
come into the AFL and be any better?
You're right. That's a fair point. I reckon there could be an argument to say at the moment the VFL's fucked. So,
Well, the VFL's fucked because the AFL's fucked.
yeah, that's right. So maybe we just need to test him in the AFL and see if it's the fucked of the VFL or that he's fucked. Which one is it?
Yeah, fair enough. Good answer. Like I said, I was just devil's advocate. I
Yeah,
think
no, good question.
different group of players around you, different speed of game. Some guys might just be better in that environment.
Well, you look at, all those guys you mentioned that hadn't played AFL before, who came on the mid-season draft, who have played every game since nearly. Like I think May got dropped this week. He might come back.
Which was interesting, I thought. But
Yeah, did find that interesting. I guess him for caddy, that's fair enough. But I don't understand. I think it's May too. Here's another thing I don't get. When he was at Carlton, I think it was May. I can't remember May or McMahon. He
McMahon
played
was
as
the Carlton one.
yeah. Well, okay. Well, one of them played as a defender a bit too. Like when you read their bio, I played a year in defence and went forward and found himself kicking goals, and so stayed as a forward. I thought, well, why can't we have one of them go down and play in the back line too?
Well, because I think Blackerston's doing it
I think Blake's doing a great
fairly
job.
admirably.
But if Ridley's going to be out this week, that'd be what I'd be looking at too.
Again, you can change that mid-game, Brad.
Yeah.
You don't have to. Why don't we try Blackerston as a forward, where it doesn't matter if he drops a mark, but he's in a really good position?
Yeah. Anyway, what do we do? What do we know?
I feel like the postseason discussion is going to be fascinating for us to have because we've already had this talk and it's interesting. But just to see what happens, to have that many list changes
Yeah.
where you and I can pick pretty easily the ones that are uncontracted to beyond this year, but geez, beyond
And we
that.
don't think are going to get contracts.
That's what I mean. So it's easy to pick those ones.
Yeah.
But you and I sit here and go, well, there has to be one. There's one player that has to go off that list who is contracted beyond this year.
Yep. Yeah.
Spoiler alert, Guelphy for me. And someone had a go at us for slandering Guelphy last week. But I'm sorry, he's just not very good.
It's not about slandering.
I know.
Guelphy. I hate people that think that.
Nah.
Like he's not
very good at football. I hate to tell you.
He's not contracted beyond the year. He's not playing a lot of football he's only playing senior football at the moment because we're so short of senior players.
Was he uncontracted? I thought he was one that had a contract. Anyway,
For next year.
Mm.
Maybe Guelphy did.
I thought he was a trade option, not a delist
Oh,
option.
he's 2026. Yeah, he does have another year on his contract. Sorry.
Memory. No, that's fine. I don't think he's very good, and I think he has a bit of value in a trade to West Coast.
Yeah.
Because Prince of Perth, why wouldn't you go play for West Coast?
Yep. He's not good enough to be playing good footy at our club, but no one is. Anyway, let's wrap this shit up.
Wrap it up. This is the longest pod we've done in many a week. So thanks for tuning in. I say it every week, but I do really mean it because it's a tough time to be an Essendon supporter, and it's an even more tough time to be a podcast host.
It
And an
is,
Essendon
it sucks.
supporter. Not that if we didn't want to do it, we just wouldn't do it. It's therapy for us.
It is therapy. It does help mental health, I'm sure, talking about it.
Hopefully we help you a little bit.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in. As always, go Doms.
Go Bombers!